Hey, welcome back to the channel. Got a few tips here today for lack of heat problems with Chevrolet trucks and SUVs. Just a list of some common problems that we're seeing causing a low heat output of your vehicle. This customer came in today complaining of low heat output and cold air at times, kind of an intermittent issue. And we've ran the vehicle outside for a considerable length of time and checked the air temperature of the defroster ducts, and we're sitting at about 85 to 90 degrees, which is terribly insufficient. On a normal heater defroster duct output, you should be looking at 110 to 130 degrees Fahrenheit for an output, so it's a definite indicator of a problem. This stuff isn't rocket science here, and there's some very common problems that affect the heater output on these vehicles. We're going to give you a couple things to look for. So here's the temperature that it's running at now on the dash, which looks great. So it shows us that the thermostat's functioning properly, the engine operating temperature is within the normal range, and we should be producing heat. So this is a dual climate system. And it's possible that one of these blend actuators is not functioning properly, but odds are in this case with the dual climate system or any of these newer Chevys, it's very rare that the actual blend door actuator is at fault here, especially in an intermittent situation. Now, I'm not saying the older, like 99 through 03-ish vintage vehicles may not have blend door actuator issues. But in this particular case, I can pretty much rule out the blend door actuator as a problem based on the fact that it is a dual climate control system and both sides intermittently lose heat. These heater hoses are easy to access, and you can do a quick test by just grabbing each heater hose and feeling if there's any temperature difference. They should both be relatively hot, and it'll show that coolant is circulating through. But in this case, this one here, that's not hot. And this one here is kind of warm. One thing to look for is any leakage at the heater hose couplers, which connect to the heater inlet lines on the heater hose. These are common points of failure, and you may see signs of leakage, and at some point they'll probably just break off. That's a pretty quick fix, and we have some videos available to show how to do that. But in this case, I'm a little concerned because we're not getting proper circulation through the heater core. Which brings us to the coolant reservoir. We always want to check coolant level and verify that we have proper level of coolant. Well, the reservoir's empty. We got a low coolant reservoir. We got a condition where coolant is being consumed or leaked somewhere. And we have, the cooling system itself. We have the radiator, the hoses. Common thing is those heater hose couplers over there that fail and begin to leak. But the most common thing on these vintage vehicles are going to be the water pump failing and beginning to leak. Let me show you what that looks like. Look around the crankshaft pulley and to the right and left side, right off that wiring harness and even the sway bar across here, and look for signs of the Dex Cool dripping off of there. That's most likely going to indicate that your water pump has begun leaking. Actually, the most common point of leakage for these water pumps is the actual gaskets itself, where the water pump mates to the front side of the engine block. So let's recap what we found. A leaky water pump has caused coolant loss and subsequent low coolant level and loss of circulation through the heater core, resulting in an intermittent loss of heat output in the interior. The fix in this case is going to be replacement of the water pump. We only use quality parts. We use new water pumps. We recommend at the same time on this application to replace the thermostat, since the updated pump assembly requires a new thermostat housing with the integral thermostat. So we replace the pump, thermostat housing, then we do a complete flush and refill at the same time with the Dex Cool coolant. And we take a close look at your serpentine belts. There's two of them. There's an inner one for the AC on any of these vehicles with AC, and then the main serpentine drive belt outside of that. Hey, I'm going to drop a link to a water pump replacement video in the description of this video, and it'll show you the details around that process. Once again, we appreciate you coming by the channel. We wish you good luck with your repairs. Take care.